Welcome to a video from thedigital-lifestyle.com. In this video I'm going to look at this Multy AC 3000 tri-band Wi-Fi system. So this is a dual system that gives you a big wide range of coverage through your home, supposedly 322 square meters. It's tri-band, comes with an app to install it and configure it, and you should get a wide range of coverage for your home because it's got the two separate devices. So in this video I'm going to unbox it and set it up and see how well it works. So you get two of these devices, power supply and Ethernet cable in there. So on the back we've got power, a reset, which reset or WPS, we'll find out how to do the setup, Ethernet ports, your connection to your main internet device, your router, and USB. American listeners, router, yes I know, but we say router, so that plugs into there. So we've got two of these which pair together. It's quite heavy as well, quite substantial. There don't seem to be any extra additional aerials to fit on the back, which is pretty good. Kind of bugs me, those things, they stick up and you can't put them in a cupboard very well, so feels nice and substantial. Right, so I've just plugged it into my existing router and just opened up the app on here that you get available iOS and Android, and it's asked me, and as I powered it up it asked me if it's got a blue flashing light, which I said yes, and now I can say where is that. So I'm going to say it's in the living room. Next, allow location, and it's actually going to do a Bluetooth setup, which is interesting. Many devices tend to use some form of having a special sort of access Wi-Fi mode that sets it up, or it requires you to use WPS or something like that, but this is actually using Bluetooth, so I'll let that continue with the setup. So after a bit of time it's connected. It connected over Bluetooth, which is interesting, a good way of doing it really, rather than the access points and things like that. It asked me the name and a password, which I've done that, and it's now giving me the option of adding another device. So I'm going to add this device to it now. So let's plug that in. So let's start that connection up. So it's going to add that second device. So I've plugged it in and it's blinking white, so I'll wait till it says blinking blue. Okay, so I've got this device paired up now. It took some time going through various Bluetooth pairing options, but it's got there connected now. It's checking now if about the signal range that I've got them in the right location. I tried this setting up earlier with the devices next to each other, and it actually said the devices were too close together. So I'm going to put it in, say that room, and it said the devices were too close and asked me to move them further apart. So the idea behind this is you created a mesh network between the two devices to flood your house or office with Wi-Fi, so that you're not dependent on that one base station. So I've got this one up here now connected up upstairs, and the other device is downstairs, and that's covering the whole house. So and of course you get the inevitable firmware updates, which I've had to do as well. So I'm going to update the firmware now. Everything's done through the phone, and it uses Bluetooth to communicate to the devices, as I said earlier. So while that's doing the upgrade, which will take some while, I'll just show you what ports we've got. We've got three network ports. We've got the connection, the network back to your router, and a USB and a reset option there. So now I'll wait for this to connect. While that's connecting, I'm just going to get a PC. So I've got a PC here, and I'm just going to check the settings. So I've got a few different routers on here. So there you can see the signal strength on that. It's full strength because the router's sat, or the Wi-Fi access point is sat here. The one here, the TARDIS Wi-Fi, is an access point from my broadband provider that's in the same location as the other one of these devices, and so you can see that it's a weaker signal, so is that Netgear one as well. So by having these combination of two devices, I've actually got a full signal strength upstairs in the house, whereas without that I would have a much weaker signal, and there are a couple of rooms in the house where the Wi-Fi struggles to get to that range, and this would solve that problem. It could be that you've got a floor of your office that's out of range or just out of range, and the idea with these really is that you have the two devices set up so that you get that sort of a crossover. So this is where your broadband providers comes in, and then you put this one just outside of, or just on the edge of that range, enough so that it's got a good signal to talk to each other, but then spreading that range out around. Let me show you. So this is a good example. It's on the box here. You see you got one downstairs, one upstairs, and these two over the 5 GHz range cover that whole area. So once this finishes updating the firmware, we'll have a look at some of the options. We've got port forwarding options. We can set up port forwarding, so if you wanted an inbound port on your router to forward to a device, so you could be having a game server or something like that, or a VPN server you want to set up, you can set that port forwarding up to forward to a device. You can have network access translation, which we've got set up, or you can have it in bridge mode. We've got, you can set up notifications when new devices are connected, so if somebody connects to the main network, you can get a notification. If someone connects to your guest network, you can get a notification. I like the idea of a guest network. You don't have to give out your main Wi-Fi password. You can turn on and off the guest network as you need it, so you can give people the guest network. They can't get on, say, your camera systems which are on your main network, but they want to borrow your internet access at home or whatever, then you can give them the guest one. So you can set your home, even if you set your images up for your home, you can have multiple devices. I've got the living room as the primary device, which displays, oh, there's all the information on that. I can even control the LEDs and restart it and so on. And there's the one I'm connected to now. I can turn the LEDs off and on that one. I'll leave it on, see it went off then. So there's 0 devices connected, so let me connect a device and let's see what this does. So I've connected up my PC now, and it's now showing that there's 2 devices connected. When I tap on those 2 devices, it shows the device, which is my Surface Pro 4, and I can reserve that IP address, so I could do port forwarding directly to it. I can block it, I can create a profile, let's give it a name, so I can select a time window that the device has access, so I can give it limited access. I can say it can't have access at these times. Maybe you can use it for kids to encourage them to do their homework. You can't get access for an hour, you do some homework, you get your access back on, or so on. So even smart home devices, you could have it so that, you know, an Alexa device doesn't have internet access at certain times, because you maybe got it in a kid's room and you don't want them playing with Alexa during the night or something like that. So it gives you that option of controlling that all from here, making it nice and easy to see the devices that are connected. There's some other things like on here. There's a speed test I can do. That's showing what, 21 meg download. I've got a 50 meg broadband connection. 20 meg is probably what I average get from over Wi-Fi. So this device is not particularly slowing it down or speeding it up at all. So the other issue, I guess, then to test is, really, does it make a difference on the coverage? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to another room in the house where I have issues with coverage and take a look. So I'm in another room now, and you can see here that I've got almost full signal strength. That Netgear one, the TARDIS one, they're a bit weak, and this is a room that I struggle with some internet connections. So you can see just by having that device on there, that with the 2 devices has extended the Wi-Fi range into this room, and where I was getting dropouts. So where I was getting dropouts before, this has sorted that. So that's one of the main benefits with this system. So one of the other good things with this as well is you've got the ports on the back, which means, say I'm up here in the office now and I've got a device that I want to put onto my network that can't use wireless, I can just plug it straight into there. So I'll give it a couple of specs just to finish off. It's a tri-band Wi-Fi system, 5 GHz up to 1733 megabits, dedicated backhaul, 5 GHz 886 megabits, and 2.4 GHz up to 400 megabits. It's got 1 gigabit WAN port, 3 gigabit Ethernet ports, and 1 USB 2 port. There is built-in antennas, and it's got 4 gig eMSNC and 512 meg of RAM. It supports WPA2 encryption and automatic security updates. It's a good solution if you want to put Wi-Fi in the office, a couple of access points in there, connect it up to your existing internet. Solid, well-made device, leave it running. Connectivity via Bluetooth to the setup, which made it a little slow but worked. Some have been a bit, I've tried, have been a bit flaky using Wi-Fi, so I'm impressed with that. Good speed, simple system. Thanks for watching this video. You can see more on our YouTube channel.